girls and guys, it is Steph with Tiny's Garden, and today we are talking about seed organization because it's that time of year. I'm going to show you how I organize my seeds, also some things I found that are really efficient while organizing them that should hopefully save you some time and give you extra time to sow even more seeds. So this seems to be a pretty popular way to organize seeds. I simply got a photo organizer on Amazon, I believe is where I purchased, and it comes with this big box to hold them all in. And then when you open, there's several boxes, and I don't even have all of mine in here, that fill up the complete box that are tinier, so you can separate and organize within those as well, which is what I do. So I'll show you one of these for example, and then I'll show you the whole bin. On the front part, I will put whether it's a transplant or a direct sow, and then also a category. So this is cut flowers. On the other side, I will put when it's supposed to go in the ground. This is one of the things that I've learned is very efficient. So I can just check in my seed organizer week to week what is in that bin, and I know what needs to go in the ground. Let's dive in and take a closer look so you can see the whole bin. Here, as I said, I have them split up between transplant, which means you'll sow the seeds inside and then transplant them outside at a later date, and direct sow, which simply means that you're going to directly sow them in the ground outside, most likely after the last frost. And then these special ones up here, pumpkin gourds, cut flowers, herbs, I gave their own little bins as well. The other ones I have in here are seeds I've collected. So these are some of my sweet pea seeds I collected from my crop last year, and I just write on an envelope and toss them in here. These are peas, they don't fit in the pods. And then there's also a bunch of the dahlia seeds that I tried to collect. We'll see how they work. But so you can add these in however you would like. I just keep all my seeds in one place. And these down here just probably haven't been organized into their bin yet or are from last year and I haven't put them back appropriately. So like that says sow 8 to 10 weeks before last frost. Now this is my favorite part. On these, I went ahead and used my label maker to come in with a label that says how many weeks before the last frost. So this is my 6 to 8 weeks before, 4 to 6 weeks before, you're getting the idea, 8 to 10 weeks before, and 10 to 12 weeks. So for these we just looked at here, these brushstrokes violas are 8 to 10 weeks out. I can simply go in and find my 8 to 10 week bin and go ahead and put it right in there, and it's ready to go. The only thing I wish I would have done differently is you can see how I had to lift and turn around to see how many weeks out which bin was which. I should have put it on the other side. So if you're using your label maker and you're looking at it this way as the right way, put it underneath, not above your words. Then you don't have to turn and look. But otherwise, still super, super handy and will save you some time. What do I mean by save you time? Well, last year I used a calendar to help me keep track of what I was starting when, and I highly, highly recommend it. Last year was my first year, so I went very big and very detailed. Give you an up-close look at some of the stuff that's on there. Basically, when things should be sown, how many weeks out from the last frost, when things germinated, stuff like that. But my point here is instead of sitting down and going through each seed pack and writing down when each variety of every flower should be started, which takes a lot of time, now this year I'm simply using, oh, where'd she go? There she is. Using a smaller calendar and doing similar things, except I'm just writing as I'm going. So all I've had to mark is when the last frost is week-wise out for each week. And then I'm still just marking down when I started my Lisianthus and when it germinates or when it should germinate. And that's how I'm doing it this year. So I'm saving some time, and I know what I need to sow when because I just come into my calendar. This week's going to be the 13th week out. So I'll go into my spin, find my 10 to 12 is the closest thing I have to 13 weeks out with me right now. My Lisianthus one is in the kitchen, and that would have the appropriate date range, but we'll say it's this one. And I look in here and my seeds are ready to go. So sweet peas for me are going to be next because these are weeks 12. And these are the ones from Floret left over from last year. And a quick note, as far as being able to use seeds from year to year, like I said, these are from last year. The germination rate will go down a little bit each year after the year that it was packed for, but especially if it's like this and just going to be 1 year old, you should definitely plant them because it's not going to go down that much. So I know people who have planted seeds that are 5+ years old and some still come up. So just a little bit of advice there. So for these that I had in my bin that haven't been sorted yet, a lot of them don't necessarily have it on the packet, and most good packets will have when you should be sowing them as far as the number of weeks out from the last frost. But if they don't, simply do a quick Google search and it should tell you, or at least get the most common answer, and then you can sort them according to what you find there. So that is how I'm sorting and organizing my seeds this year. Again, last year, I don't regret doing it so detailed, even though it took a lot of time, more time than it will for me this year, because it was my first year and I was just getting my, what's that expression? Hands wet? Is that right? Feet wet. I was just getting my feet wet. So being that detailed and having everything really written out helped me stay on track, because I think I ended up having 369 seedlings that I grew. So I was growing a lot of different things, and this year's going to be even more, but I've got a year under my belt, and having that detail-oriented schedule last year has educated me for this year, so I can do a little less and save a little more time, thus being more efficient. So that is how I'm organizing my seeds and starting them this year. Please comment below and let me know if you have any tips and tricks for organizing your seeds and what your process is. I would love to hear that. Also, if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel to follow along here with all things garden, and like this video. It really helps out the channel. My next video coming out will be an update on my Lisianthus, my begonias, and my pansies that I've already started, and we're looking good, and some interesting finds there as well. So keep watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!